which is the Mandal Commission recommendation and the OBC reservation, and what happened to that OBC reservation and how Supreme Court has finally confirmed it. Okay. So, the question is Indira Swani judgment or the OBC reservation, how Supreme Court has confirmed the OBC reservation, or the OBC reservation judgment. Okay. So, in fact, this was in the 1990s. So, this issue came up to the court, and finally the court had to give the judgment the final judgment was there in 1990s, I think 94. Okay. So, let us talk about this particular judgment and how things and what are the background of it. First of all, let me just talk about the background. The first backward class commission, was appointed in 1950s, in fact in 1953, and under the leadership of Kaka Kalelkar. So, this was appointed under the leadership of Kaka Kalelkar, 53, and he submitted the report in 1955, and he recommended he recommended that there should be more than in the recommendation he recommended 2,399 communities are declared, according to his finding, 2,399 communities are socially and educationally backward. Socially and educationally backward. But this report was not accepted, or this is not taken up by the Nehru government at that time. So, subsequently the second backward class commission, was appointed by the Janata government under the Morarji Desai leadership, Prime Minister at that time Morarji Desai. And that was in 1979. So, the government appointed a second backward commission under BP Mandal Commission, that is the Mandal Commission, and finally this when Article 340 is what is where the President can appoint, presidential under Article 340 the President can appoint a commission to look into the various aspects of the communities. So, to identify, investigate into the socially and educationally backward classes. So, BP Mandal under Article 340 was appointed to investigate into the socially and educationally backward classes, to identify the socially and educationally backward classes and recommend the steps necessary to be taken. And Mandal Commission finally, so it was 79, in 1980 he submitted the report, and 3,743 candidates castes were identified. 3,743 castes were identified as socially and educationally backward, and the Mandal Commission recommended 27% reservation. See, now a very important aspect I would like to tell here is, see, in the First Amendment Act in 1951 itself we introduced scheduled caste reservation 15%, scheduled tribe reservation 7.5%. Now, Mandal Commission is recommending OBC 27%. So, now why 27? See, now one thing you should know here is this 20, what you call 15%. See, this is the why 15%? Because it was identified that 15% of the Indian population are scheduled castes, because that is the population. Population, if you look, scheduled castes are 15%, scheduled tribes are 7.5%, but OBC, please note, OBC population is not according to, we don't have that correct picture because we don't have even a proper data, because after 1991, 1931 census, the second time a caste census was held only in 2011, but that data is not even published by the government. It has been kept secretly, unfortunately. Now, it is, according to many experts, is anywhere between 40 to 52% of the population are OBC. So, I am repeating, scheduled caste 15% reservation because the population, 15% of the population are scheduled caste. Then scheduled tribe, we are keeping it as 7.5% because 7.5% of the population are scheduled tribes. But OBC reservation, this Mandal Commission recommended 27% reservation because, or it is not because the population is 27%, it is anywhere between 40 to 52% of the population are OBC, other backward classes, because they have identified more than 3,743 castes as socially and educationally backward classes. Now, why 27%? That reason is Mandal Commission itself recommended that the reservation. So, if you add all these things, 15 plus 7.5, 22.5 plus 27, this will come to 49.5%. Mandal Commission itself recommended less than 50% reservation, because there has to be a balance between social justice. So, why we are giving reservation to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC? To provide social justice. So, Mandal Commission itself recommended that there has to be a balance between social justice and merit. That is why Mandal Commission recommended 27%. So, Janata Dal government in 1989, VP Singh government, when they came to power, VP Singh government decided to implement in 1989, it was decided to implement 27% reservation for OBC, 27% reservation for OBCs. But this led to a massive strikes and protests, and the VP Singh government fell. So, the things were terribly wrong, and then the PV Narasimha Rao government came. Okay, Narasimha Rao government subsequently came, and Narasimha Rao government introduced, two conditions. See, then finally it was implemented by PV Narasimha Rao. He made two changes in this. One is, he brought in, say, 27% for OBC, but a creamy layer concept was brought in. Creamy layer. That means those who are economically well off within the OBC, they will not be given reservation, and also another 10% reservation for economically, 10% reservation, we introduced economic criteria in, that is a creamy layer concept, also 10% reservation for economically weaker section or economically weaker class. So, economically weak, this is not for the general category, it is for all those who are economically weak. The idea was that at that time, so the 10% reservation for economically weaker. So, 27 for OBC, 10% for economically weaker class. So, all those who are economically weak will come under this category. So, this OBC reservation and the 10% reservation for economically weaker class introduced by PV Narasimha Rao, it was challenged in the Indira Swani case. So, this was challenged in the Indira Swani case. And Supreme Court came up with a, it's a landmark judgment at that time. It said that, they talked about many things, about the backward class and many things, what is the limit of reservation. Supreme Court accepted the Mandal Commission argument and declared that the reservations should not exceed more than 50%. So, in the Indira Swani judgment, Supreme Court held that there can be in a provision, there can be special provisions for the backward classes, but not exclusive provision. One very important statement, should not exceed 50%, number one. Number two, there can be special provisions for backward classes but not exclusive provisions. So, there cannot be exclusive provision, it is only special provision. It is not it is a concession, the special provision is given, not an exclusive provision. That means it is only for backward, no. It is a special provision given to you, and if the state would be, it would not be justified if the advancement of the communities are not considered. It also said that advancement of the communities should be considered and the economic. So, they also said the advancement of the community should be considered. So, creamy layer concept should be brought in, and the national interest would suffer if qualified and competent people are ignored. National interest will suffer. Another statement made by the Supreme Court was that national interest will suffer if qualified and competent people are ignored. So, how much reservation you can give? See, Narasimha Rao government said that 27 for OBC, already 15% reservation for scheduled caste is going on, 7.5% for scheduled tribe is going on, now 27 for OBC, another 10% for economically weaker class by the Narasimha Rao government at that time. So, what will happen? So, that is what Supreme Court is saying, and the Supreme Court generally observed that the reservation should not exceed more than 50%. If the reservation exceeds more than 50%, the competent and qualified people's claim will be ignored. So, reservation should not exceed not more than 50%. So, this is the one major conclusion made in the Indira Swani case. Another thing, then who are socially and educationally backward? Because Article 15(4) talks about socially and educationally backward. Article 15(4) talks about socially and educationally backward. Now, without amending the constitution, Narasimha Rao introduced 10% for the economically weaker section. So, that is where, but Article 15 talks only about socially and educationally backward. And that is why it was struck down by the Supreme Court at that time. Supreme Court said that you should, Article 340, you can appoint a commission, the President can appoint a commission, and the commission can identify who all are socially and educationally backward. There is no definition, it is up to the commission to decide. And then the Supreme Court said that on the basis of the commission's recommendation, the President may specify, but the decision of the government is justifiable. So, on the basis of the recommendation of the commission, the President may notify communities. Okay. On the basis of a commission, President is free to appoint a commission under Article 340. On the basis of the recommendation of the commission, the President may notify communities, but this notification of the community is justifiable, is justiciable, not justifiable, justiciable, meaning it can be challenged in a court. See, reasonable, see, please remember Article 14 says the state can reasonably classify people, reasonably classify, reasonable classification. Whether this classification is reasonable or not, who will decide? Supreme Court. Whether you are adding a community or excluding a community, or the exclusion or addition of the community is reasonable or not, who will decide? Supreme Court will decide. So, it is justiciable. So, this application or the addition or subtraction of a community is justiciable. Supreme Court also will interfere and look whether it is that is the Supreme Court made it very clear. Addition of a community, if you are adding a community into a socially and educationally backward, whether it is a reasonable classification or not, Supreme Court will decide, Supreme Court will interfere. And also, Supreme Court talked about the backwardness in a big way. Whether it is a reasonable classification or not, Supreme Court will decide, Supreme Court will interfere. And also, Supreme Court talked about the backwardness in a big way in this judgment. Supreme Court said, backwardness, so what is backwardness? Supreme Court explained about backwardness. Supreme Court said that backwardness as envisaged in Article 15(4), as envisaged in 15(4) should be both social and educational, should be both social and educational. It cannot be either, cannot be either, meaning this any community, if it is declared as socially and educationally backward, see, again please understand, it is not economically backward, socially and educationally backward, it cannot be either, it should be both. Social backwardness as well as educational backwardness should be there. Poverty, now Supreme Court also said poverty, occupation, place of stay, place of residence, where this community is living. Are they living in a slum? Are they living in the margins of the villages? Are they living in a very, in a very poor condition? So, poverty, occupation, place of habitation may all be relevant factors, may all be relevant factors in arriving at the social and educational backwardness. In arriving at, so may all be relevant factors, poverty, occupation, place of stay or habitation may all be relevant factors in arriving at the arriving at a conclusion on backwardness, at the backwardness. In arriving at the backwardness. It also said that neither caste by itself nor poverty by itself can define backwardness. Okay. Neither caste by itself or poverty by itself neither caste by itself, only because you are in this is a caste, or only because poverty by itself is a determining factor in backwardness, is a determining factor in backwardness. See, that means Supreme Court is saying that you cannot divide and say, oh, you just only look at the caste, or you look at only at poverty. No. It should be poverty, the backwardness, the caste, everything. Caste can be a relevant factor. See, caste is, but Supreme Court also said that neither caste by itself nor poverty itself is a determining factor in backwardness, but caste can be a relevant factor, caste can be a major factor, caste can be a major factor, caste can be a major factor. No doubt, caste can be a major factor, but backwardness, so poverty is a factor. Caste is a factor, but it should be a combination of everything will decide the backwardness. Supreme Court is saying a combination of a backward class cannot be determined exclusively with economic criterion also. See, poverty can be a factor. Supreme Court made it very clear, backwardness cannot be determined only and exclusively with reference to economic condition. See, if you may be economically bad. See, if you are economically poor, there can be a employment guarantee program, MNREGS, can help you in improving your economy. See, if you are economically weak, you are not backward. In India, backwardness is social backwardness, educational backwardness, ignorance. See, these things should be there. Economically you are weak does not mean that you are backward. And Supreme Court also said that it may be a consideration. That means economic backwardness can be a consideration, but it should be along with social backwardness. Economic backwardness can be a consideration, poverty can be a consideration, but it should be along with social backwardness. It can never be the sole criterion. See, economic backwardness or economic weakness that is becoming very, very specific. Reservation in employment, it can never be the sole criterion. See, economic backwardness or economic weakness cannot be the sole criterion. Supreme Court repeatedly said this. So, that is why Article 15(6), where the economically weaker section reservation, or 16(6), the economically weaker section reservation in employment can be seriously challenged in the Supreme Court. It is not that easy to be justified, because Supreme Court has very clearly said in India the concept of backwardness is not economic backwardness, it is social and educational backwardness. So, it said backward classes could be identified, caste can be a criteria, but caste is not the sole criteria, and bench also said that not more than 50% of the reservation can be given. Now, what P.V. Narasimha Rao government has done at that time in 1990s, this government has done again in a different way altogether. By, see, at that time at least they talked about an economically weaker class. All, see, at that time it was said that anyone whose income is less than a particular thing will be considered as economically weaker class. But now we are saying economically weaker only from general category, or economically weaker from those who are not getting any reservation benefit. That is becoming very, very specific. You are not talking about a class. See, either you create an economically weaker class. You see, reservations are given for classes of people. A weak scheduled caste is a class of people, a group of people who are placed in the same level. Scheduled tribes are a group of people placed in the same level. OBC, a group in a different level. But now what are we saying? We are economically weaker among the general category. So, it is not a class, it is a section. See, that is why it is said economically weaker section. Section is not class. So, that itself is going to be unconstitutional. That itself looks like unconstitutional, but we do not know. Supreme Court has not said anything till now. As long as Supreme Court is not saying, we cannot say anything. But it looks like economically weaker section is not a class, that itself will be and moreover it has crossed 50% reservation. So, Supreme Court also said that creamy layer, advancement of the backward classes should be considered while giving reservation. Creamy layer among the backward classes should not be given reservation. So, they have brought the concept of creamy layer also in this judgment. So, this was a 9-judge, Indira Swani case was a 9-judge bench. The verdict was 6-3. 6 judges in favor and 3, but what was said by 3 is immaterial now, 6-3 judgment. And as I said, this Supreme Court said that the article according to backward classes in Article 16(4) can be identified based on the caste and not on the economic basis. So, it said 16(4), the weaker section can be based on caste, not solely by, or not by economic factor alone. Caste can be a criteria, not by economic factor alone. So that is why the Narasimha Rao's idea of 10% reservation for economically weaker section or economically weaker class has been rejected. And Supreme Court also said that this backward classes in Article 16(4) is different from 16(4) is different from Article 15(4). So 15(4) talks about socially and educationally backward, whereas in 16(4) talks about backward classes, but no clarification. So Supreme Court has said that what is mentioned in 16(4) for employment and what is mentioned in 15(4) when it comes to that special provisions for educationally and socially and educationally backward, these are not same. This should not be treated as same, it should be treated separately. Creamy layer must be excluded. So this judgment very clear, creamy layer must be excluded, to be excluded, very clearly mentioned in the judgment. And there is no harm in classifying, and they also said that there can be other backward classes can be further classified into most backward class. So there can be sub-classification within OBC. The Indira Swani judgment said that there can be sub-classification. (16(4) is different from Article 15(4). So 15(4) talks about socially and educationally backward, whereas in 16(4) talks about backward classes, but no clarification. So Supreme Court has said that what is mentioned in 16(4) for employment and what is mentioned in 15(4) when it comes to that special provisions for educationally and socially and educationally backward, these are not same. This should not be treated as same, it should be treated separately. Creamy layer must be excluded. So this judgment very clear, creamy layer must be excluded, to be excluded, very clearly mentioned in the judgment. And there is no harm in classifying, and they also said that there can be other backward classes can be further classified into most backward class. So there can be sub-classification within OBC. The Indira Swani judgment said that there can be sub-classification within the classes, meaning now Supreme Court has said that even scheduled caste can be classified into 2 or 3, whatever you want, or OBC can be divided into most backward class or not so backward, no, so the sub-classification is permitted, and backward class citizens cannot be identified only on the basis of economic criteria. I already said reservation should not exceed 50%, and no reservation in promotion. Indira Swani case very clear for all, including scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, no reservation in promotion. This was said, but subsequently this was rejected. The Parliament amended the Constitution and added the provision Article 16(4)(a). Subsequently, Article 16(4)(a) was added and reinstated the reservation in promotion. It was reinstated. So these were some of the components of the Indira Swani. So, but the bottom line of Indira Swani judgment is it accepted. Please understand 2 or 3 major points of Indira Swani judgment. Number 1, the OBC reservation based on the Mandal Commission recommendation has been declared as constitutionally valid. OBC reservation of 27% has been declared valid in the Indira Swani judgment, number 1. Number 2, Supreme Court also said that the creamy layer concept should be brought in. The advancement, the economic advancement of the community members should be seen, and those who are comparatively well off should not be given reservation. So the creamy layer, that means the comparatively better off people within the OBC should not be given reservation. That was acceptable. And number 3, Supreme Court said that the reservation should not exceed more than 50%. If you exceed more than 50%, the efficient and what you call, those who are eligible or other capable people will be left behind. So there has to be a balance between social justice and merit, and Supreme Court said that what Mandal Commission suggested, that 50-50, 50% for social justice and 50% for merit. There is a good balance in our society, considering the historic background, considering the historic injustice done to various communities. 50% of the seats can be reserved for social justice, 50% of the seats should be reserved for, or rather should be there for merit, so that a balance between social justice and merit can be achieved. If you are not considering this, so if you are not balancing between the social justice and merit, national interest would suffer. If qualified and competent people are ignored, national interest will suffer or would suffer if competent and qualified people are ignored. That is what Supreme Court said. So these are the three highlights of Indira Swani judgment of 1994. It made the reservation 49.5% in India. It brought the concept of creamy layer, but it is introduced only in the OBC category. And it also insisted that caste alone is not a criteria. Economic backwardness alone cannot be a criteria for reservation. Social and educational backwardness should be there. Economic backwardness cannot be a criteria for reservation. That is what Indira Swani judgment said. But that is what is completely altered by the economic reservation which is brought in through 103rd Amendment Act. I will be talking about that separately.